Hello and welcome to Vinnie's Day Off. Today we're having a look at this knife. This is the Great Eastern Cutlery Hayn Helper, or number 47 two-blade knife with the orange Delrin handle. I'm going to quickly give you my first impressions of this, and we're going to field test it by carving an axe handle. This knife came with this rather attractive sheath, leather sheath. I've also been tagged with the 8 question tag by Mickey Wilson, so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to give a shout out to some channels that I think deserve it. Just let me rearrange things first. So here we have the Hayn Helper with a couple of other knives I've bought recently, and I just want to talk about my first impressions when I opened my package. This is the Buck 110 Ultimate Hunter with the drop point blade, S30V steel and rosewood handles with nickel silver bolsters. I should have paid more attention. I thought these were brass. I really love the brass bolsters on the Buck 110s, but this is a nice knife. It comes with this rather beautiful sheath. When I took this out of the package, I just said wow, it's a robust, strong and beautifully made knife. The Victorinox Ranger Grip 78, I did a review on this. This is a most capable knife, and again when I took it out of the package, it's a good hand filling knife. I said wow, this ticks all the boxes. With the Hayn Helper, I must admit I felt a little bit disappointed. Just let me give you a rundown of prices as well. The Buck 110 is €78.65 without postage. The Ranger Grip €54.63, and the Hayn Helper €60.20, again before postage. I know it doesn't all boil down to pennies and pence, but it does factor, and I was just a little disappointed when I got this. Am I being ripped off with the designer product? Just in case you think I'm down on GEC, I also bought this. This is the number 54 GEC Big Jack with the Red River acrylic handles, and I think it's a stunner. It's a beautiful knife. It just feels lovely in the hand. This to me is the perfect pocket knife, although a little pretty for the likes of me. What could you not do with a knife like that? What the steel is like, I'm not sure yet, but we're going to find out. So as I said, we're going to use the Hayn Helper to carve an axe handle, or a large hatchet handle in this case. So let's get to work. This is my little hatchet I want to make the handle for. It's a 1 1/4 pound head, and I find with normal hatchet handles it's a bit short and they don't give you the power or leverage that this deserves. It's not a super steel or anything. I don't know who the maker is. All I remember is Made in America was written on it. It's not super hard, but it's not super soft. And what I like about this little axe is it cuts very well. Every now and again you come across either a knife or a hatchet or an axe that just cuts well. This one cuts well, and I want to give it a good handle. The timber I'm using is a piece of ash. This came from a bow stave that I had in my attic, and it's been seasoning up there for about 12 years. When I had a look at the stave, there were some knots and imperfections that wouldn't make it suitable for a bow. So I cut a piece off, and I've sanded it down with my electric sander. And here you can see, hopefully, I have my basic handle shape. It's going to be fairly straight, and we're going to carve this out today. This handle is 21.5 inches long. I did get a 16-inch handle for this little hatchet, but again it just wasn't long enough to give you the leverage and power. Okay, so we're going to try this one. As I said, this is well seasoned, so it should be pretty hard. So let's see how we get on. Oh yeah, it's hard. I should also say this Hayn Helper didn't come very sharp. I had to do a bit of sharpening on it, okay? Okay, so we can get a grip by getting in here in the corners. Kind of half starting to regret this already. This is quite tough. Doesn't give that easily. Should be a good test of the knife though. I have to say so far the handle is quite comfortable. I like that. To be honest, I thought it would be easier to get some shavings off this, but it is really, really hard. Now this knife is sharp now. It's actually razor sharp. It's taking here with no trouble at all, but it's having trouble biting into this. I'm not getting good feather sticks, as it were. We just have to work away. As I said, I was tagged by Mickey Wilson with the 8-question tag, so I may as well carve away as I deal with those questions. Mickey is quite an interesting channel with some good videos in my opinion. He's some very, very good videos on wild edibles, plants and fungi. He also did some very good videos on navigation, which I found very interesting. Plus he's a lot of other outdoor general stuff that those kind of people find interesting. So he has quite a good channel, so go check him out. I'll leave a link in the description to Mickey's channel. Anyway, first question is, what was my most memorable camp? There were a few from back in the day that involved going to music concerts and many flagons of cider and ending up in a 4-man tent with maybe 8 or 9 people. But I think that's not the kind of camp he's on about. I'm going to say my most memorable camp was when I made a shelter from ferns, and I was planning having a nice camp out, and it started raining heavily, and I discovered that ferns are a rubbish shelter material, despite some people using them on YouTube. That was an eye-opener to what a shelter should actually do, or what you need in a shelter. Next question, Do I like solo or social camping? I must say social camping with my family, and it's mostly what you call car camping, but I really enjoy it. I enjoy getting away with the lads. I enjoy kayaking and travelling around and seeing stuff. So social camping. Question number 3, what is my favourite knife? I'm going to give you my favourite fixed blade knife. Would be this little one. Okay, this is a Puko from Knives, and I love this. This is my idea of what a knife should be. It's my favourite knife, but it's not my most used knife. Mainly because of the sheath. It's quite firmly in there, and it's a little bit awkward to get it out. And I find when I'm using a knife, it's in and out of the sheath constantly. So this sticky sheath doesn't suit me. My most used fixed blade is this thing. It's a Frost of Mora. Frost and Mora Knive were both based in the same town of Mora, and Mora Knive bought the Frost Knife Company. This was my first fixed blade, and it's over 32 years old. It's a hollow plastic handle which I filled with some kind of filler, I forget what. It's got maybe a ½ inch of tang. They tell you on YouTube that nothing but full tang will do. Well, this tang is set in about a ½ inch of plastic. I've done everything with this knife and it's still here. None the worse, 32 years later. I keep picking this one just from long association, and it has a very handy sheath in and out. I wear it as a neck knife because that's the handiest place when you're actually working with the knife. I find that extremely handy. When you're finished, tuck it inside your shirt. So that is my most used fixed blade knife. From some of the comments I got on YouTube and from some posts I found on the internet where I was being discussed, I think people have the impression I don't have any fixed blades. I have some fixed blades. Including some big fixed blades. Question 4, where did I learn my bushcraft skills? I don't consider myself a bushcrafter. I don't know that I have any amazing skills. I have a fair idea how to use a knife. I know some basic knots, I know how to put stuff together. That's about it. I don't consider myself a bushcrafter, I just consider myself a country guy. If you ask me where I got my love for the outdoors from, it was from my dad. I've been following him since I was a very, very small boy, for as long as I can remember. I've been following him, hunting and fishing, trapping, all kinds of outdoor pursuits. They were the happiest times of my childhood. And it was from my dad, Joe. That's where I got my love for the outdoors. What's my favourite fire starting method? Without a doubt, your zip lighter. I live in a country with a very high rainfall. Everything I find is damp. So lighting a fire with a spark is not going to do it. You need direct flame, and you often need to hold direct flame to your material for a good long time before it actually burns. There's a lot of what ifs with your big lighter. What if they get wet and all that? Both of these were in my pocket and went through the washing machine. Okay? This one I simply left in my pocket for half an hour, and it worked, no trouble, after going through a full cycle of the washing machine. This one I rubbed on my pants and kept rubbing and flicking it. Left it in my pocket for half an hour, and it worked perfectly. I don't see why you should make things harder than you need to, so for me it's big lighter all the way. Question 6. What's my most essential piece of kit? I thought about that one for a while. But as I say, I live in a wet country, and for me it has to be my wellies. These are the Eagle Parkour 2 Wellingtons. Bit expensive for wellies, and I thought about it for a long time before I bought them, but I'm glad I did. They're about as close as you come to a walking shoe or boot in a Wellington. They're quite comfortable. Not ideal for long distance walking, but what I do is bring spare pairs of socks with me and change them during the day. Even in summertime, if I want to go everywhere, I need to wear these. And you could get waterproof boots, but it would be just such a pain cleaning the muck and mud off them afterwards. With these, you just rinse them under a tap. The most essential piece of kit, my wellies. Question 7, do I carry a bug out bag in my vehicle? I don't. I do carry what I think I'm going to need. I do carry a large bottle of water and some small amount of food. If I'm facing very wet weather or floods, I bring my waders. If I'm facing snow, I think I may have to leave my vehicle. I throw a sleeping bag in it, or I'll bring my wellies and some walking sticks if I think I have to walk home. I'm quite skeptical of the bug out bags you see presented on YouTube, with lots of guns and knives and axes. But they carry no food, they carry no water. Most of them carry no bedding, no form of mat to lie on at night. Many of them carry no proper shelter. I think many of them are owned for the bragging rights, and they're not meant to be used in anger. If you're going 3 days living off your own supplies, you need a lot of food, you need a lot of water, or the means to get it. You need a sleeping bag, you need a mat to lie on. You need a proper tent or shelter to keep the rain off you. Okay? Guns and knives in a bag with no food or anything else you need, I don't buy it. Okay, final question, question 8. Do I prefer alcohol, gas or wood for cooking? Without a doubt I prefer alcohol. I make my own stoves from Coke cans, drink cans, pop cans if you like. It's a great hobby in its own right. It's very, very interesting. There are many different types of stove you can build. They're very easy to build, they cost nothing, they work very well. I don't like cooking on a wood fire because it dirties your pots. They get very dirty after it. Gas not so convenient for me. We don't have the large outdoor stores that you have in other countries. Gas is not so readily available for me. I can walk into any hardware shop and get a bottle of alcohol there. This is €2.95. It's very cheap. I can get it anywhere and it works very well. So alcohol for me. I'm not going to tag anybody else. Often when I see guys doing tags, I say, please don't pick me. Now I didn't mind doing this, I quite enjoyed it. And I want to thank Mickey very much for mentioning me and for picking me out. I appreciate it. And as I say, he's got a good channel, so go check Mickey Wilson out, okay? I also want to do a few shout outs on this video. I normally don't do it because you can't possibly cover everybody you want to acknowledge or give a shout out to. But I have 3 chaps who I watch and enjoy and who deserve to have a lot more followers. These 3 chaps have also mentioned me in their videos, so it's time for me to pay back, okay? The first chap I want to mention used to be called Headcase82, but he's recently changed his name to just Tom. Tom has videos on a good many subjects. He has quite a few kayaking videos, as well as some product reviews. What I enjoy is his long range shooting videos. He has one video where he's shooting a subsonic .22 at 400 yards. I don't know what the trajectory will be, it must be something like that. He also sets up his camera so you're able to see the disturbance created by the bullet and follow the path of the bullet. The first time I saw it I got a bit excited. I thought my Jedi powers had finally matured, but no, it's just the way he sets up his video. It's very interesting to track the flight of the bullet. So I recommend you go and watch Tom. Link in the description again. Another chap who I like watching is Peter Tempset. Peter does a bit of bushcraft and various outdoor things, but he's a very knowledgeable chap. Again, on plants, fungi, and just knowledge in general, country knowledge. And in many cases you find that old-time knowledge is disappearing. I very much like to watch his videos. Next channel is Johnny Duke. Johnny is a very interesting chap. He has a fantastic collection of knives. He has some beautiful knife videos, and he has some beautiful knives, well worth looking at. He also has his own unique take on knives, and he likes the outdoors. He has some lovely outdoor videos, and he shows some fantastic scenery from his part of the world. He's also a bloody fine musician, and he has some very good music. He's even started a series of lessons on the harmonica aimed at people like me, and it's called Harmonica for Dolts. So it's a great honour, I think. Anyway, Johnny Duke, well worth a look. Again, link in the description. And finally, I'd like to recommend Mr. Otterdude, or Joe. I've just finished watching one of his videos. It's called A Pocket Knife for Life. And man, he really sums up people like me, and I presume you if you're watching this video. I thought it was a great video. He also covers many different topics, including cooking, and he's going to put one up shortly of making primitive arrows, which I'm very interested in seeing. So check out Mr. Otterdude. Okay, so we need to move on with the carving in this video, guys. So I'm going to fast forward for a bit, okay? Alright guys, you're seeing the condensed version of this video, but trust me on this one, this went on for quite a while. This wood is very tough and hard. I'm about at the stage now where I'm ready to put my wedge in. So that's the handle. It's not quite finished. I'm going to slim it down some more. I'm going to bring this hook down a little bit lower as well. I need to slim it around here, but for the video we're finished. It also needs a bit of tinning on one side as well. This wasn't a plank, this was a piece of natural wood that I planed out. Okay, anyway, let's get the wedge in. Okay guys, it's not perfect, it's not even fully finished, but there you have an axe handle whittled with the Hayn Helper. It should make my little hatchet much more useful to me. My opinion of the Hayn Helper has gone up while I was doing this task. The handle is quite good. Now my hands are a little sore because there's a lot of cutting, but this left hand, which was holding the wood, has got a blister, whereas no blisters over here, none to speak of anyway. So the handle is good. The steel is hard and holds an edge, and it's a good working knife. As I say, my opinion has gone up quite a lot now that I've actually used it. So guys, that's our first look at the Great Eastern Cutlery Hayn Helper. I still haven't made my mind up about this knife or about Great Eastern Cutlery, but I'm going to have fun finding out. What I found from this task is that it's a decent working knife with decent steel. So I'm going to wrap it up for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll look at this some more. So thanks very much for watching, and bye bye for Vinnie's Day Off.